I never imagined something like this could happen to me. People always say that betrayal cuts deepest when it comes from the ones you love, but I never thought I'd be the one learning that truth the hard way. My name is Jordan Reyes. I'm 33, single, and live a quiet life in suburban Maryland. By most standards, I'm doing fine. I have a stable job as a systems analyst, a modest condo I bought with my own savings, and a tight, predictable routine. That predictability was my comfort until it shattered overnight. It started with a call from the bank. A woman with a clipped tone and a sense of urgency asked why I had missed the last 2 mortgage payments on a new loan. I blinked, half listening, assuming she had the wrong person. "I think there's been a mistake," I said. "I haven't taken out a new mortgage." She paused. "This loan was opened 3 months ago, Mr. Reyes. $100,000. Property listed as primary residence. Payments due on the 15th. You're 2 months behind." I pulled my phone away and stared at the screen, as if it might glitch and reveal some punchline. There was none. I asked her to send me the documents. She did. And within 10 minutes, my inbox held a digital copy of the mortgage agreement, signed in my name, with my social security number, address, everything. Except I had never seen it before in my life. At first, I thought it had to be identity theft. A scam. A data breach. Something. I went numb. Then cold. Then furious. I drove straight to my parents' house that evening. They lived 20 minutes away, in the same aging townhouse we'd grown up in. My mom opened the door with her usual smile. "Jordan, you didn't say you were coming. Come in, come in." I didn't sit down. "Where's Megan?" My younger sister poked her head around the kitchen wall. She looked startled but recovered quickly, brushing her hair back like she always did when she felt guilty. I knew that look. "Hey, Jord. Everything okay? Did you take out a mortgage in my name?" I asked, skipping every pleasantry. My father, seated on the worn couch, stood up with a groan. "Son, don't make a scene. Don't make a scene. Someone forged my signature on a $100,000 loan. You think I'm supposed to sit quietly and sip tea?" Megan stepped forward. "Okay, yes, but it's not what you think. I was falling behind on tuition and—" "So you stole my identity?" "We didn't steal anything," my mother interjected. "We borrowed. Your family. It's not like it's going to a stranger." The silence that followed was deafening. I looked at the 3 of them, people I had trusted my whole life, and I didn't recognize any of their faces. "You could have asked," I said quietly. "We knew you'd say no," Megan replied, eyes glistening. There it was. The truth. They knew I'd say no, so they decided my answer didn't matter. My dad sighed, rubbing his temples. "We raised you better than this selfishness. Family helps each other." "Help? You ambushed me. You stole from me. You lied." My voice cracked, and that embarrassed me more than anything. I was always the calm one, the logical one, but logic was useless here. They kept talking, words like duty and support and love, but none of it landed. I stared at the wall behind them, counting the old family photos. Smiling faces, birthday parties, vacations we could barely afford. I wondered when those smiles had turned into expectations, when support became entitlement. Eventually, I left. I didn't yell. I didn't slam the door. I just walked out, because staying would have meant saying something I couldn't take back. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat at my kitchen table, mortgage papers spread out, every line like a needle to the chest. I thought about pressing charges, about lawsuits, about cutting ties. But more than anything, I thought about how little my voice had meant to them. And I knew, right then, that this wasn't just about money. It was about control. About the subtle ways family can hold you hostage with guilt and tradition. They thought I'd forgive them. They thought I'd pay it off quietly. They didn't know me at all. So I made a decision. I was going to take my life back, starting now. Part 2. When love becomes leverage. The morning after I found out about the mortgage, I called in sick to work. I wasn't physically ill, but my chest ached in ways that had nothing to do with viruses or fevers. I sat staring at my laptop, my hands hovering over the keyboard. My thoughts spun in a loop: documents, betrayal, Megan's face, my dad's tone, my mother's calm insistence that it was okay. I opened my banking app. That's when the real damage began to unfold. The loan had already affected my credit score. There were missed payments, late fees, and a new monthly bill I was now responsible for unless I took action. I felt like I was sinking in someone else's choices. I called my friend Chelsea. We'd known each other since college. She worked in compliance for a financial institution and had the kind of no-nonsense personality I needed right now. "You need a lawyer," she said after I told her everything. "And you need to report this immediately. This is identity theft, Jordan, family or not." I hesitated. "They're my family. If I report them, Megan could get a criminal record. She already committed a crime." Chelsea snapped. "Listen to yourself. You're worried about saving her reputation while she's out there spending your credit like it's a family buffet." I sighed. She was right, but it didn't make it easier. Later that afternoon, I logged into Megan's Instagram. She hadn't made it private. That was her first mistake. The second was posting a picture of herself holding a new designer bag, captioned with, "College stress relief. Retail therapy works wonders." I stared at the screen, my jaw clenched. This wasn't someone who had been forced into a desperate situation. This was someone who thought there would be no consequences. I started pulling bank records, gathering statements, and printing every mortgage-related document I had. Then I called a lawyer. His name was Daniel Blake. He specialized in financial fraud and had a reputation for being both methodical and relentless. "We'll start with a fraud affidavit," he said. "You'll need to file a police report. From there, we go to the credit bureaus. We'll build a paper trail." My stomach turned. "What are the odds I can get the mortgage voided without her going to jail?" He raised an eyebrow. "That depends entirely on how cooperative she is, and whether the bank believes she coerced you or impersonated you. Either way, it's fraud." I nodded. It felt like signing a contract with reality. That evening, I called my parents again. I wanted one more chance to fix this before the law got involved. My mother answered. "Jordan, honey, please don't do anything rash. Megan is under so much pressure. She committed fraud. You all helped her. That's not pressure, that's a crime." "You're blowing this out of proportion," she insisted. "You forged my signature. You ruined my credit. You want to talk about proportion?" There was silence. Then she whispered, "If you really loved your sister, you'd understand." I hung up. There was nothing left to say. That night, I began writing everything down. Every conversation, every detail, every document. Because if they wanted to turn love into leverage, I needed to turn facts into freedom. And I wasn't backing down. Jordan didn't sleep that night. The weight of betrayal didn't hit like an explosion. It settled in like a cold fog, numbing his limbs and dulling his thoughts. He lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, his mind looping through every conversation, every text, every red flag he should have noticed. The house felt unfamiliar now. The photos on the shelves, the family portraits, the childhood drawings his mom had never taken down. They all felt like props in a theater play he never agreed to be part of. By morning, Jordan had made a silent vow. "I may not be able to fix what they did overnight, but I'm done playing the fool." He booted up his laptop and started with the basics, his credit report. What he saw made his stomach clench. There were not just one, but two mortgages under his name. One was the $100,000 loan he already knew about. The second, smaller but still significant, had been taken out 8 months ago, a $12,000 personal loan, listed under an address he didn't recognize. Someone had been using his identity longer than he thought. His hands shook as he picked up the phone. He called the bank. "I want to report identity theft," he said clearly. "I didn't authorize these accounts." The representative was polite but cautious. They opened a case, asked for documentation, and advised him to file a police report. "We'll need an affidavit from you, plus any proof that your identity was compromised." Next, he froze all 3 of his credit bureau profiles, changed every password he owned, and added 2-factor authentication to his accounts. As the hours passed, he felt more control returning to his body, like the slow thawing of a man who'd been trapped in ice. That night, his phone buzzed. "Megan, you could have just helped me directly. Now the tuition payment bounced. What am I supposed to do?" Jordan stared at the screen. There was no apology, no guilt, just blame. He didn't answer. A few minutes later, a voicemail from their mother came through. "I don't know what you're doing, Jordan. Megan is your sister. We're family. Families help each other. You're acting like a stranger." He wanted to scream. "You made me a stranger the moment you signed my name like it was yours." Instead, he sat in silence. The next day, Jordan visited a lawyer recommended by a coworker. The office was quiet, the kind of sterile calm only law firms and hospitals seemed to master. He explained everything, from the forged mortgage to the new loan he discovered, to the pressure from his family. The attorney, a no-nonsense woman named Elena, listened carefully. When he was done, she leaned back in her chair. "This isn't just identity theft," she said. "It's fraud, forgery, and potentially conspiracy if more than one person was involved. You're within your rights to file civil and criminal charges." Jordan hesitated. "It's my family. I don't want to ruin their lives." Elena looked him dead in the eye. "They had no problem risking yours." Those words echoed for days. He started compiling a folder: emails, credit reports, screenshots, bank letters, even social media posts. Megan's Instagram was a goldmine of carelessness. One post stood out. She was at a luxury spa, tagged 2 weeks after the mortgage was filed. The caption read, "Thanks, babe, for always treating me like a queen crown #blessed." It didn't take long for Jordan to piece things together. Babe was her boyfriend, Tyler. A charismatic, always hustling kind of guy with a flashy watch and vague job titles. Jordan never liked him. Now, he had a hunch. Tyler was the mastermind. He checked Megan's recent followers. Tyler's account was private, but Jordan still remembered his handle. He searched Reddit and a few shady complaint boards. And there it was. A thread. "Tyler C86, scammer boyfriend ruined my credit." Another, "Watch out, conman targeting college girls for loan scams." Jordan's blood ran cold. Determined to gather evidence, Jordan reached out to Megan with a simple message. "We need to talk. Just you and me. No parents." Surprisingly, she agreed. They met at a cafe near her campus. She wore sunglasses indoors and barely looked up from her phone. "I can't believe you're doing this," she said before he could speak. "You're ruining everything." Jordan kept his tone calm. "I just want to understand. Did Tyler convince you to use my name? Was it your idea?" She looked startled. I mean, he said it would be temporary, that it was just paperwork. You make more money than me anyway. You realize you committed a crime, right?" Jordan said. Megan's lips quivered. "You don't get it. I didn't have a choice. I needed to stay in school." "You had a choice," Jordan said. "You could have asked. You could have respected me enough to involve me." She looked down. "He said you'd never find out." Jordan turned on his voice recorder under the table. "So you're saying Tyler was the one who came up with it?" Silence. Then a nod. That was all he needed. Back at the law office, Elena reviewed the recording. "This is good. Very good," she said. "It establishes coercion, admission of guilt, and names an outside influence. We can use this both in civil proceedings and for leverage if we go to the police." Jordan nodded, jaw tight. "What's next?" "We build your case. And then, we burn the bridge." He didn't say it out loud, but he knew. That bridge was already ash in his mind. The court date was set for a Thursday morning, 8:30 a.m. sharp. Jordan arrived 30 minutes early. The courthouse in downtown Baltimore loomed above him like a relic from another time. Gray stone, cold steps, rustling papers, and solemn faces. He wore a navy suit. His hands were cold, but his spine felt straight for the first time in months. His attorney, Elena, met him at the doors. "Stay calm. You have everything you need. We're not here to destroy people. We're here to reclaim your life." He nodded. "Let's do it." Inside, the courtroom was small and sterile, not like in the movies. No grand speeches, no gasps. Just the dull scratch of pens and the hum of overhead lights. Megan sat across the aisle, her posture small, her eyes puffy. Their parents were with her, casting glances Jordan's way, half pleading, half scolding. Tyler was nowhere in sight. A warrant had already been issued for his arrest when he skipped the scheduled deposition. Word was, he'd fled to another state. The judge, a stern woman in her 50s, reviewed the case with visible frustration. A mortgage of this size, signed under false identity, is not a matter of misunderstanding, it's fraud. Jordan's stomach twisted when Megan took the stand. She was visibly shaking. "I didn't mean to hurt my brother. I just thought it would be temporary." Tyler said it wasn't a big deal. He filled out the paperwork. He said he'd pay it back. The judge raised an eyebrow. "So you knowingly submitted a loan application in your brother's name?" Megan nodded, barely audible. "Yes, but I didn't realize how bad it was." Jordan's jaw clenched. That's the lie she tells herself. That it wasn't real because it wasn't happening to her. When it was his turn, Jordan took a breath and stepped forward. He didn't read from notes. He didn't need to. "Your Honor," he began, voice steady. "This isn't just about a mortgage. This is about being betrayed by the people I trusted the most. My family took something that wasn't theirs. My name, my credit, my future, and gambled it for someone else's comfort. They didn't ask. They didn't warn me. They decided that I owed them a sacrifice I never offered. And they acted like I was the villain when I said no. He paused. I'm not here to seek revenge, but I won't apologize for defending my name. I built my life from the ground up. I lived within my means. I paid every cent of my debt, every loan, every rent check. I won't carry someone else's mistakes, especially when I was never even asked. The courtroom was silent. Even Megan looked stunned. The judge leaned forward. Thank you, Mr. Blake. That afternoon, the ruling came down. The mortgage was declared fraudulent, null, and void. Megan was held civilly liable for damages and court costs. Because Jordan declined to press criminal charges, she was spared jail time. But her financial future would now bear the weight of her choices. Outside the courtroom, their parents approached him. His mother had tears in her eyes. Jordan, please. She's still your sister. She was my sister, he said quietly, until she decided I was her safety net. His father didn't speak, just watched him, unsure, perhaps realizing for the first time that the son they thought would always say yes, finally didn't. The next few weeks were brutal. Megan tried texting him, pleading, apologizing, blaming Tyler, blaming stress, even blaming their parents. Jordan didn't respond. Instead, he focused on cleaning up the mess. The mortgage wipe restored his credit slowly. He got alerts, calls, reminders, but each one was easier to handle than the silence he used to live in. His home, once full of photo frames and heirlooms, now felt like his own again. The walls were bare, but clean. The silence didn't ache, it healed. One night, he opened a drawer and pulled out a family photo from 10 years ago. A barbecue in their backyard, everyone laughing, Megan with ketchup on her cheek. He stared at it for a while. Then, gently, he slid it into an envelope and placed it in a box labeled Past. Weeks later, a certified letter arrived from Elena. Inside was a copy of the court transcript, a financial summary, and one final note. You did more than win a case. You reclaimed your life. Proud to have stood beside you. Jordan smiled. For the first time in a long time, it reached his eyes.